Hello everyone, this is Dr. Syed Abrar and I welcome you all for the second part of my presentation. So dear students, as you all know, the human beings are considered as the most powerful species on earth because of their intellectuals. They have discovered and invented so many stuffs since centuries. They have explored so many points on the earth that are difficult to reach, and much progress has been dealt in the research of planetary sciences. This planetary sciences is directly linked to the space sciences and astronomical sciences. For instance, just assume in the future, if the humans want to settle on different planet and want to lead a normal life as on Earth. The most important thing, that planet should have all the four domains of the Earth. The solar system has blessed planet Earth with many living organisms and the important elements to sustain life. So these elements are land, water and air. These elements are linked to the biosphere as three important components. In the last class, I briefed you regarding the various aspects of biosphere. In this class, I am going to deal with the components of biosphere. Among different definitions on biosphere, I want to define biosphere as a global ecological system integrating all living beings and their relationships, including their interaction with the elements of the lithosphere, hydrosphere, cryosphere and atmosphere. The biosphere is classified or divided into three components. They are lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. Let me take the first component, that is lithosphere. The term lithosphere has been derived from the Greek, lithos meaning rocky and spheria meaning sphere. So this lithosphere, it consists of two parts, that is earth crust and the upper layer of mantle, which is basically the solid portion of the earth. The core, which is a central sphere of the lithosphere, is not at all a part of the biosphere. As I said, as you know, the lithosphere consists of two, that is mantle and the crust. The mantle extends about 2,900 km above the core and crust extends about 8 to 40 km above the mantle. The lithosphere will be constantly changing because of the shifts in the tectonic plates. And these shifts will not get to know, or these movements of the tectonic plates will not get to know because they are very much slow, or the process is very much slow. We will get to know only when we feel the earthquake or there is occurrence of volcanoes. The crust is very much complex and this is composed of the biotic communities. There are different kind of living organisms which includes in the biotic communities and also the weathered rocks, and this weathered rocks includes the nutrients and the minerals. And this crust is covered by different layer of soils. The layer of soils may be organic soil, topsoil, subsoil and so on. And these soils, they provide food, shelter and anchorage from predators to the host or host to predators, in whole the all living organisms. Soil is also a medium for many food chains, many food webs, and also it is a main source of nutrients for all the plants. The soil support all the terrestrial organisms. You have, as you all know, there are various kind and bizarre shaped of organisms on this earth, and these terrestrial organisms is supported by the soil. Plants also fix plants are anchored to the soil, or they fix to the soil with the help of the roots or root system. And animals walk and run upon the soil. There are many small organisms or small creatures like worms and nematodes and insects which live under the soil. There are various microorganisms like bacteria, viruses which also dwells under the soil. The lithosphere can be classified into two types. First is continental crust and the second is the oceanic crust. The continental crust is nothing but the thick part of earth crust which made the landmass. or the whole of the land mass is considered as the continental crust. So oceanic crust is a crust which is present below the ocean or in the soil. The second component of the biosphere is a hydrosphere. This hydrosphere, the term hydrosphere is derived from the Greek, which means the hydros means water and spheria means sphere. So this hydrosphere is nothing but the total amount of water which is present on the earth, underground and in the air. When you see the water from the space, you can see the shades. The shades will be blue and in a white. The blue and white shades is nothing but the water. The blue shade will be in the form of the ocean or a sea, and the white shade will be in the form of the clouds. So this hydrosphere covers about 70% of the planet. So in solid, liquid and gaseous form. And these three states of form, which includes the oceans, rivers, lakes, ponds, wells, clouds, fogs and so on. So it has been estimated that the total amount of water on earth is 1386 million cubic kilometers. It extends from deepest sea point or depth of the sea to highest mountain altitudes or high ice caps. So just see the chart. If at all we consider hydrosphere as 100%, then 97% of the earth's water is marine, that is, it is found in oceans and seas, whereas the 3% of the water in hydrosphere is fresh water, and in that 3% of fresh water, the 70% of the fresh water will be ice caps, glaciers, and so 29% is groundwater, and only 1% of the water is accessible accessible for the living organisms. And in 1% of that accessible fresh water, 52% are in the form of lakes, 38% is in a form of moisture, 1% is in a form of river and water inside the living organisms, and 8% is in a form of water vapor. So friends, you can see that the only limited amount of water is present on earth, which is accessed by the living organisms. So a large portion of the fresh water is in the form of the ice caps or ice forms or glaciers. This picture you can see, this is the largest glacier on the earth. The frozen part of the earth's hydrosphere, consisting of the ice caps, snows, glaciers, icebergs, is referred as the cryosphere. The cryosphere is a part which comes under hydrosphere. So let me speak about something related to water. So as you all know, the water is the most essential to all the life or all the living organisms, because it is a major inorganic nutrient which is needed by every organisms on this earth. So this water continuously circulates through the hydrosphere in a cycle called as water cycle. So how does this water cycle persist? See, the heat of the sun or the solar heat evaporates water from the ocean, and a lesser amount of water is also evaporated from the surface of land and from plants by a process called as evapotranspiration. So evapotranspiration is a word which is a merge of two words, evaporation and transpiration. So all this water vapor, it form clouds, and these clouds are moved by the winds, and somewhere they settle and they cool down and they fall on the ground or on the earth as rain and snow. So some of the fallen water soaks into the underground, and again it is returned to the surface by pumps or by transpiration. So some of the water flows down to the streams and rivers, and these streams or rivers are again connected to the oceans directly or indirectly. And again from the sea or from the oceans, the water evaporates and it reaches to the atmosphere, and again the water cycle will repeat. So this hydrosphere is found in the three forms. It is liquid state, solid state and gaseous state. So liquid state, it is ocean, sea, lake, pond, well and so on. Solid state like ice, icebergs, glaciers, snow, etc. So gaseous state is a water vapor. The third, it is the last part of the biosphere, is the atmosphere. The term atmosphere is derived from the Greek atmos meaning vapor and spheria means sphere. So atmosphere is nothing but the set of layer of gases that surrounds the earth. So this atmosphere, it acts as a shield to perform various actions. The most important actions are to keep up the earth warm by holding the heat, and also the providing oxygen to various organisms. So this is a chart which represents the various forms of gases which are present in the atmosphere. The most majorly will be occupied by nitrogen, that is 78%, followed by the oxygen 21%. Then so there is very meager amount of carbon dioxide is 0.04%, and argon constitutes about 0.96%. So the most majorly occupied gas, it is nitrogen. It is fixed by bacteria and lightning to produce ammonia, and it is used in the construction of nucleotides and amino acids. Oxygen, it is used by most of organisms for respiration, and carbon dioxide is used by the algae, cyanobacteria and plants for photosynthesis. So this atmosphere is composed of 5 layers. It is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. The very first layer, troposphere, it is coined by the French meteorologist Philippe, and the word has a meaning called sphere of changes. That is, here the weather will be always changing and will be mixing all together. So this is the layer which is the first one. It is closest to Earth, and the average extension of this layer is about 12 kilometers above the Earth's surface. So this troposphere has 75% of all of the gases or all of the air, and almost all the water vapor will be in clouds form. So you can see the chart, the 78% will be occupied by nitrogen, 21% by oxygen, 1% by the other gases such as argon, carbon dioxide, and also it includes the water vapor. So this is a layer where the hot air balloons fly. The second layer, stratosphere, again it is coined by the French meteorologist Philippe, and this word stratosphere has a meaning of sphere of layers. That is, it has many set of layers within the stratosphere. So the boundary line between the troposphere and the stratosphere is called as tropopause, and this tropopause is a boundary or the line where the aeroplanes fly. And this stratosphere, it extends about 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface. And this stratosphere, so it consists of a layer which is very most important, is called as ozone layer, and this ozone layer, it absorbs the harmful UV radiation from the sun, and it is in protective in condition. And this is the layer where the high altitude balloons will fly. So just monitor the weather parameters and also the climate. The third layer, mesosphere, it has the meaning called middle sphere. It is center of the sphere among all the 5 spheres. So this layer extends about 85 kilometers above the Earth, and the boundary line which meets the mesosphere and also stratosphere is called as stratopause. So here in this layer, the most of the meteorites which comes towards this Earth by high speed, they are burnt away. Thermosphere, the word has a meaning called sphere of heat, where you have the highest temperatures, and the boundary line which extends from the mesosphere and the thermosphere is called as mesopause, and this layer extends about 700 kilometers above the Earth's surface. And the most important luminous light phenomenon will occur here, and most of the satellites take in orbit. The last layer, the outermost layer, is called as exosphere. The word has a meaning called external sphere. So it extends about 10,000 to 1,80,000 square kilometer above the Earth's surface. So this is a layer where atoms and molecules escape into the space, and the higher altitude satellites take in orbit. So this completes the 3 components of biosphere. So if at all I consider the 4 domains of the Earth, so biosphere is the 4th, which is followed by the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. So I will not tell brief about the biosphere because, as I said in the first presentation, the most varied and magnitude, having the different diversity of the biosphere. So I briefed you in the first presentation regarding the various plant species, various habitats, various habits of the biosphere. Well, so this biosphere is an important domain which brings all the elements of the earth such as land, water and air together. So biosphere overlaps all the three domains of the earth. So biosphere represents every part of the earth where the living organisms exist. So it involves every living organism from the vast sky to the base of the water bodies. So these four spheres are very much important for all the living organisms. So we have to protect and conserve all the four spheres to sustain and for the betterment of the future generation. So the most famous American philosopher had said that heaven is under our feet as well as our overheads. So he told, as I assume, as I predict, he told nothing but an earth. So earth has the four spheres where we should conserve all of the four above, and also we should protect them for the betterment of the human being kindness. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. So in next class, I will deal with the other topics. Thank you so much.